all right. What's going on, bootstrappers? Hope you all had a fabulous holiday with your family and friends and are getting ready for another one here. All right, so learn to be flexible. So I was just on my way driving across town to meet with someone that's going to be renting one of my properties, and this is a rental property that I have of mine. And they've asked for a few concessions. I really don't care because I've asked for some concessions as well. However, I'm driving over there and I get this text, and the text is like, "Hey, do you have copies for me?" And I'm like, "No, I don't have copies." And so I'm like, I wait till everyone signs the documentation. So let me back up just a little bit here. I work out of my home office, and so people that are buying my houses, when I buy something subject to and I turn around and I sell it to somebody, I have no problem with them coming over to my house, becoming familiar with my family and things like that. They're putting down large chunks of cash, anywhere between $20,000 to $30,000, $50,000 down. And I want them to feel comfortable with me and my family because, I don't have a storefront, I don't have an office space because I work out of my house. And that's okay, that's cool. But on my rentals, I don't want them to get that comfortable with me. I don't want them to get that comfortable with my wife and my kids. And that's an issue for me. That's something I just want to be protective of that. And so this is a rental property of mine. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want this guy at my house, So I'm driving, I'm over there, and he texts me. He's like, "Hey, do you have copies for me?" I'm like, "No, I don't have copies." And I'm like, he's like, "Well, that's gonna be a problem for me." I was like, "Well, how is it gonna be a problem? What do you need it right now?" He's like, "Yes, I do." I was like, "What do you need it for?" And we're all doing this through text. I'm like, "This is, it's just how it's happening." And he's like, "I need it for my personal records." And so I asked him, straight up, like, how is me taking it, you signing it and me scanning it into an email and sending it to you like in 25 minutes or so when I get back to my home, not going to work for you? He's like, "It's just not." And I'm like, damn, this guy he's being annoying as hell. And I'm trying to like temper this thing here because I'm pissed. I'm like, I drove out of my way. It's a big, huge inconvenience for me. I drove all the way over to where this place was to meet the dude. And he's like having a hissy fit. And I have never met this guy. I already have made some assumptions about him. And we'll see when I meet him whether or not my assumptions are true. But this guy is very particular about certain things, like his contracts or his paperwork and how he needs to keep records of everything. And it's asinine. It's just completely I don't know. Maybe I'm the one not being flexible because I don't want him to come to my house. Now, my wife and kids, they're not there right now. They're at the library. They're doing their typical thing that they do on Wednesdays, which is they go to the library. So it's not an issue of them coming to my house and meeting my wife and my kids. But it's the fact that I don't want my renters. I've drawn a hard, fast line that I don't want renters in my house. Buyers can come to my house all day long, but not renters. And, I've heard it said that, like, oh, maybe I should go ahead and get let's see if this cop's going to turn around or not. No, he's not. Maybe I should get an office front, but honestly, I don't do that much business that would require that. Most of my business is done either at the house, transacting everything right then and there. And my wife, she kidded. She's like, maybe I should get you a portable printer because she asked me one time, she goes, should I get you a portable printer for Christmas? I'm like, no, I don't need a portable printer. That's ridiculous. I do everything these days digitally and no one has any problems with it. But this guy, I'm like, dude, take a picture of it. If you have problems with it, take a picture of the contract, and then you'll, like, within a half an hour, you'll get something. I'm like, damn it, this is so frustrating. So anyway, here I am going back to my house because, he's already here in town. So, like I said, maybe I'm the one that needs to be flexible on this one. But this is the last damn concession he's getting out of me, and I'll make damn sure that I'm getting something out of it in return. So, but man, flexibility. Some people are just hard to work with because they're so inflexible. And again, like, I have principles, and this is one of the lines that I said I'm drawing, but I'm trying to be flexible at the same time. So I'm trying to be the reverse of this situation. I can tell you what, though, I was literally like this close from telling the guy, you know what, scrap it. Because literally I had like 4 or 5 other families begging me to rent this house to them. I mean, this is a beautiful piece of property. This is a 1,200 square foot home with a mother-in-law quarters on 5.86 acres. And I mean, it's a great piece of property. So this guy, wanting to, at the last minute, the 11th hour, be a little bit difficult and inflexible. I seriously was this close. And I'm going to let him know, too. I'll be like, dude, I was this close from just telling you to just screw it. I'm going to go with this other family because of just it's just annoying to me. It's just annoying. Like, why did I have to, like, drive across town, across the bridge, go into another city, and sit there and wait for the dude? And he's like, oh, I'm not there yet, but can you go make copies for me real fast? I'm like, dude, I'm doing you a favor by letting you into this property here. So anyway, flexibility. It goes both ways, both from the buyer and the seller, in this particular situation, from the landlord and the renter. All right, learn the ability to be flexible, because it'll make you it'll either make you or break you. It's amazing. Being grown up in California, we always hear about how these buildings are earthquake proof. And then what makes them earthquake proof? Well, what makes them earthquake proof is that the foundations have a little bit of give and take to them. So that if there's an earthquake, instead of it shattering, shaking it really fast, and it's so rigid that it crumbles and it collapses, that it has some ability to flex. Skyscrapers have the same ability as well. These skyscrapers, they're so tall that they are able to flex, to bend a little bit with the wind, so that they're not able to be, snapped and broken. The same thing applies to us in business. When we're working with people, it's just about, who's going to be flexible and who's going to be the one that's going to snap and break. Because when you snap and you break, man, the deal's over. The relationship's, it's gone. I was at that point. I was at that tipping point where I was like, just going to snap at this dude and say, you know what, that's it, we're done. And, I get like that with my kids sometimes. Like, that's it, go to bed. It's crazy. Being a dad sometimes is just like, you have it. And sometimes when you're you have these tenants, these renters, man, you're just like, you're like this, dude. And fortunately, there's, or sometimes unfortunately, there's laws that protect them. I got one tenant. We bought this house. The lady moved out. We bought it from her. Her daughter decided to stay. Like, what's this all about? She decides to stay. We bought the house from her mom, but because she stayed, she has some tenant rights, and so now we're just having to go through this eviction process with her. So that's a whole nother hassle as well. But hey, you know what? Life's good. It's all about growing and learning and all of this crap. So anyway, I'm Ryan Nickel. Just remember, you guys are just one deal away. Just one deal away from changing your entire financial future. Learn from my experience. Don't be inflexible. Be flexible. Be as flexible as possible, because you'll get the most out of every situation and every deal. All right, I'm talking to y'all later. I'm almost home.